Welcome to the Scented Path, where fragrance meets the senses and brings meaning to life's special moments. I'm Natalie, your guide on this journey through scent, self-reflection, and living beautifully. Each week, we'll explore how fragrance inspires balance, stirs memories, and elevates everyday life. Discover how each scent can transform not just your space, but your mood and your path forward. So let's walk this journey one scent at a time. This is the Scented Path. The quiet ones are easy to overlook until you realize the blueprint was theirs all along. I've been in rooms where everyone was talking over each other, scrambling to prove who had the brightest idea, and then there was that one person who barely said a word. They sat back, eyes sharp, catching every detail. When they finally spoke, the whole room leaned in because their words landed with weight. That's the quiet visionary. They don't scatter their energy trying to be seen, but they do place their voice like it's a brick in the foundation that's steady. It's deliberate and it's built to last. Most people miss this point. Vision often hums beneath the surface, working slow and sure, like roots stretching deep before they ever break ground. By the time you notice, the framework is already there. The path has already been cleared and the future has already been shaped. I've learned to pay attention to that kind of presence, the blueprint energy, because the ones who carry it are designing stability. If the quiet visionary had a scent, it would open with lavender, not the soft, sleepy version, but the one that clears the space the second it's in the air. Clean, direct, and unmistakable. That's the first signal of a visionary presence. It doesn't fight for the room, it just simply claims it by being steady. Then I would say orris root emerges. That's the second note. Powdery, cool, layered with something almost hidden beneath the surface. Orris unfolds slowly, making you wait for the fullness of its character. That's blueprint energy too. Design happening underneath, a pattern forming before the rest of the world notices it's there. And then of course the base, I would say, would be a blend of cashmere wood and labdanum. Warm in texture, cashmere wood carries comfort, the strength that feels approachable rather than harsh. Labdanum deepens with its weight. It has a richness that doesn't fade once the flame is out. Together, they hold the whole fragrance steady. The way the right foundation makes everything else possible. Lavender, orris, cashmere, labdanum. The trail is contained, layered, and deliberate. Just like a blueprint, invisible to some at first, but holding the plan for everything that lasts. Blueprint energy costs something. The ones who carry it don't waste themselves proving they belong in the room, but that restraint isn't always easy. It means biting your tongue when you could dominate the conversation. Means letting others take the spotlight while you focus on the base layer no one else is patient enough to even see. I've watched these kind of people work, and the pattern is always the same. They're steady in the background while everyone else rushes to stamp the name on their moment. But months later, when everything has died down, the blueprint is still standing, and it's theirs. The groundwork nobody else noticed ends up being the thing everybody leans on. The irony is that quiet visionaries often feel invisible in real time. Their work doesn't always draw applause. It doesn't sparkle on the surface, but the impact lands later when people finally realize who laid the groundwork that kept the whole thing from collapsing. And that's the real influence of this particular blueprint energy I'm talking about. It isn't immediate recognition, it's durability. It's the difference between being remembered for a performance and being remembered for creating something that lasted. A blueprint fragrance doesn't shout, it stays. Lavender clears the space so the design can begin. Orris root reminds you that some things take time to unfold. Cashmere wood offers the warmth of structure that you can lean on, and labdanum seals it with its richness that lingers long after the deed has been done. That's the lesson of, again, blueprint energy. The scent isn't immediate recognition, but it's the trail that tells you something steady has been set in motion. Just like vision. It doesn't always show itself in the moment, but you'll feel it later in what holds. Blueprints are quiet until the building rises, and by the time it does, the cornerstone has already been set. That's the truth of quiet vision. It shows up before the noise, before the headline, before anyone else realizes they're standing on the ground you already laid. So here's a challenge that I want you to take note of. Pay attention this week to the pencil marks, the scribbles, the routines you leap, the things you do that you tuck away thinking no one else notice it. Pay attention to that. That's your blueprint energy. Do not wait for someone else to validate it. Don't step back from it because it hasn't been noticed yet. Write it down, protect it, expand it. When the framework is finally revealed, they'll see what you already knew. It was you all along. Thanks for joining me on the Scented Path. Remember, finding balance is a luxury we all deserve, and each breath is a chance to embrace harmony and grace. Until next time, breathe easy, live beautifully, and let every moment reflect your truest self. This is the Scented Path, where luxury meets balance.